So hello everyone. Maybe you have already seen our introductory video about Einbürgerungstest or Lebens in Deutschland test. If you haven't seen that video till now, then I will highly recommend you to go back to that video first, watch that video, and then come to the video number 1 of the question series. Just a very short summary about this course. We have already uploaded the course related to the German driving license theory preparation in English on our YouTube channel, and now we are starting a video series for the preparation of Einbürgerungstest or Lebens in Deutschland test, which is necessary if you are going to apply for German nationality, or even in some states it is also a requirement for Niederlassung or permanent residence or unbefristet, whatever you call. So in this video series we have divided all the questions in four major parts, and the first part which we are going to start today will be about the events before the Second World War and till the present situation of Germany. In that part number 1 we have around 100 questions or 106, so we will divide them in 4 videos. The part 1 will be divided into in 4 videos of 30 questions each. Before starting the questions, I will suggest you one thing: you should have a notebook or diary with you, because as you know, all these questions are in German and some German words are really difficult. So I will explain, or I will tell you the meaning of every difficult word. You can note it down, and then when after finishing all 300 questions, you will start to prepare yourself from a mobile app or some online resource. Then if you know the meanings of some crucial words, then the questions are really easy. So just make a diary, just make a notebook, and note down the meaning of every difficult word which you are going to explain you. After 300 questions, you will have a handy vocabulary, or you will say a vocabulary which will be around 300 new words for you, and you can use them in your daily life. So like along with Einbürgerung test, we are also going to learn some new German words in this course, so it's also a benefit or fortile of this course. The first 300 questions will be journal, and then we have 10 questions related to the specific states in Germany. So there are 16 states in Germany, and then each state will have 10 questions. So in total you have to prepare for 300 general questions and 10 questions which are related to your state. So you have to prepare for 300 questions in total, and in exams 30 questions will come. After this video series we will upload some exams as well for you. So now in exam there are, I guess, 33 questions. I will add it. I will put some subtitle where I have said it wrongly. Maybe 33 questions are there, I'm sure, in the final exam. So now we will officially start the preparation of Einbürgerung test, and we will explain you each and every question. The first part, as you can see here, will be related to the events that are before the Second World War. So let's start the first question of this video series. So let's move to the first question. First of all, some important points. We have some questions related to the German era, which is from 1933 till the end of Second World War, which was 1945. In those questions we will have some term. So this name I will take as nationalist. I will call it as nationalist during the questions, and this name I will call it as Mr. H. Like some political issues, so I will not take that names. I think you can easily understand, like if I am saying Mr. H, you should know that it's this name. If I am saying nationalist, then you should know that I am taking this name. So let's start the question number 1, which is: when waren die Nationalists mit Mr. H in Deutschland an der Macht? An der Macht is a German word which we use to be in power. An der Macht sein, to be in power. So if the question is when the nationalists, which were the companions, or which with Mr. H were in power in Deutschland, in Germany. So just remember this thing, that they were in power starting from 1933 till the end of Second World War, which was 1945. You just have to remember this important year, which is 1933, in which Mr. H was selected as German Chancellor, or you can say Reichskanzler, or we call it President as well. If Chancellor is not the right term, the upcoming questions will be related to that. Just remember, just learn this important year, 1933. So nationalists with Mr. H were in the government or were in power in Germany from 1933 till the end of the Second World War, sorry, which was 1945. Now we will move to the second question, which is in welchen Jahr wurde Mr. H Reichskanzler? Like the question is, Reich is a term used for the imperial or some kingdom kind of words. So they are asking that what was the year when Mr. H was selected as a chancellor. We called it in English, and chancellor in German language. So they are asking about the year. As I told you, you have to remember, or you have to learn this important year, which is 1933. Starting from 1933 till 1945, nationalist and Mr. H, they were in the government. So 1933 was the year when he was selected, or when he appeared as a Reichskanzler or Chancellor, you can say. Now we will move to the next question, which is the nationalist mit Mr. H errichten 1933 in Deutschland. Nationalist with Mr. H. Errichten is a German word which is used to establish a government, to establish a system. So they are asking in this question, nationalist with Mr. H, they have established in 1933 a type of government. Which type of government it was? Eine Diktatur. It was a dictatorship. This answer is correct. The next answers are einen demokratischen Staat. It was a democratic state. We know that it was a dictatorship. It was not a democratic state. There are different words. And then eine Monarchie. Monarchy is related to the kingdom. It was not a monarchy. It was even not Fürstentum. Fürstentum is a different word actually, which is used for a different form of government related to the municipal principality systems and something like this. Just remember, Errichten, to establish, they established a system which was related to the dictatorship, a dictator. This is the correct answer. Now we will move on to the next question, which was when waren die Nationalists in Deutschland an der Macht? The same question we have already seen. The first question, when the Nationalists were in power, or they were in the government in Germany. That was the year starting from 1933, when Mr. H was selected as Reichskanzler or as Chancellor, till the end of Second World War. So this was the time when they were in power in Germany. Just learn this year 1933 and then you are fine to answer many questions. Now the next question is, das Dritte Reich war eine. Just remember this term, the Dritte Reich or the Third Reich is the same era starting from 1933 to 1945, which was eine Diktatur, not a democracy, not a monarchy, not a Räterepublik. Räterepublik is a combination or confederation of different states. So just we have already seen that question, that the Dritte Reich starting from 1933 till 1945, this is a term which is commonly known as, so it was a dictator. It is the correct answer, dictatorship. Our next question is, was Kennzeichnete then nationalist start? You know this is term Kennzeichnen is to distinguish. When you have your car, you call it Kennzeichnennummer. You have a characterization number, or you have a unique number. So what was the uniqueness? They are asking what was the characterization of that state from 1933 to 1945. That was a politics related to this statischen Rassismus. Rassismus means racism. So that form of government was actually like they were against some group of people. So statlichen Rassismus, there was racism from the state, from the form of government. This answer is correct in this situation. Rassismus is racism. We will see some questions that there was some racism towards some particular people. This answer is correct. The Meinungsfreiheit, that in that government there was a freedom of expression. Meinungs mean you have to give your opinion. Freiheit is freedom. You can give your opinion freely. This is the answer. This answer is not correct. Or the allgemeine Religionsfreiheit, like we have religious freedom in that era, it is also not correct. Or the Entwicklung Demokratie, we already know that era is about dictatorship, so democracy is not an option. Staatlichen Rassismus or racism was there, so this is the only correct answer in this scenario. Now we will move to the next question. Our next question is, was gab es während der Zeit des Nationalist in Deutschland? Same time 1933 till 1945. So geben, you know, that verb is from the past form, while während, while their side, time, during that time of nationalist, what was there in Germany? Das Verbot von Partien, you know, Verbot is to ban. So there was a, because you know that was not a democratic system, so there were complete ban on the political parties. So that answer is right. Das Recht zu vereinen and fall to the Persönlichkeit, like there was a freedom for individual persons. This answer is not correct. Pressfreiheit, there was a freedom for press. This answer is also not correct. Then Schutz der Menschenwürde, like protection of human dignity. This answer is also not correct. In that time 1933 to 1945, this time there was a ban on political parties. It was not a democratic time, so this answer is only correct. The rest were not the part of that time. So now we will jump to the next question. Was gab es in Deutschland nicht während der Zeit des Nationalist? What, like previous question was what was there? We know there was a ban on parties. Now they are asking what was not there during that time in Germany when nationalists were on their Macht, were in the power. So what was not there? Frei wollen was not there. Like wollen mean to choose people, like elections, you can say. Frei wollen was not there. Press censor, there were some censorships on the press. Willkürliche Verhaftungen, some abductions, you can say. Arrest, to arrest the people. Verhaftung, that mean to arrest the people. And willkürliche mean arbitrary, like random. Then Verfolgung, persecution of a specific community. This I will not take this name, but you can see. So like Verfehlung mean persecution, to persecute a specific community. This was there. Verhaftung, abductions were there. Press censorship was there. What was not there? Frei wollen, that was not a democratic state. So free elections or freedom to choose the people, their own representative, was not there. This answer is correct. Now we will move to the next question, which was passierte am 19. November 1938 in Deutschland. What happened 9 November 9th November 1938 in Germany? So you see, like 1938 is the time, like starting from, just remember, starting from 1933 till 1945. So this time what happened in 1938? Mit dem Angriff auf Polen began the Zweite Weltkrieg. With attack on Poland, the Second World War, Angriff mean attack, began and to start Zweite Weltkrieg. The Second World War was started. We know the Second World War started from 1939 and it ended in 1945. So this is not the correct answer. The nationalists verlieren eine Wahl. Nationalists lose the election and lösen then Reichstag auf, and then they dissolve the National Assembly. They dissolved the German assembly. We know there was no democratic system during that time, starting from 1933 till 1945. So no possibility of elections, even to lose the election is the next step. So on and auflösen, there was no parliament so that you can dissolve that. This option is not correct. This is specific community, Geschäfte, the business of this community, and the worship place, synagogue of this community, werden durch Nationalists und ihre Anhänger zerstochen is a verb which is used to describe the meaning destroy. So like for this community, their businesses or shops and their worship places were zerstochen, were destroyed. in 1938. Just remember this year, this answer is correct. And Mr. H wird Reichspräsident und lässt alle Partien verbieten. That Mr. H was selected as president and he banned all the parties. We know he was selected in 1933. He came as a president in 1933. If it was not a selection or election, but still the year was 1933. So this answer is not correct. Only this answer is correct. Like specific community, their shops and worship places were destroyed, or like this is the correct answer. Option number 3. Now we will move to the next question, which is in welchem Jahr Sechstrogen die Nationalist Eugen und das Geschäfte in Deutschland. The same question, it is related to the last question, like in 1938 and the businesses or some worship places of this community were destroyed. So we know the year was 1938 already. This year we know from the last question, and this answer is correct. So now we will move to the next question, which is Klaus Schenk Graf von Stauffenberg wurde bekannt durch. Klaus Schenk bekannt, is known for or famous for. Kennen is the basic ground verb, and then Grundverb, and then bekannt is famous or is known. Why he is famous? Why is he known in Germany? So the first option is durch eine Goldmedaille bei den Olympischen Spielen 1936. That he won some Olympic gold medal in 1936. This answer is not correct. Then Bau des Reichstagsgebäudes, that he built the building of German law. We know there are many buildings in Berlin related to German democratic system. He built one of them, one of the building. This answer is also not correct. Bau, born to build, and Reichstagsgebäude, Gebäude is building, and Reichstag is a typical German word for the Bundestag, Reichstag, different parliamentary system. Then Aufbau der Wehrmacht. Aufbau is to construct or to make, to establish, to build. That he built a, we have already seen this word, an der Macht, in power. So Wehrmacht is army, some allied forces or some equipped forces. So that he Aufbau, that he built an army. This also is also not correct. Das Attentat auf Mr. H am 20. Juli 1944. Attentat is a German word which is used for assassination. So assassination attempt. So this Klaus Schenk Graf von Stauffenberg actually made an attempt to assassinate Mr. H on 20th July 1944. This was the year when he attacked on Mr. H. So this is the correct answer. Like in this year, on a specific date, may just remember this date. That's Klaus Schenk Graf attentat, or tried to assassinate, or an assassination attempt on Mr. H. This answer is correct. Now we will move to the next question. When war die Zweite Weltkrieg zu Ende? This we already know. The Second World War, Zweite Weltkrieg, when it was finished, 1945. It started in 1939 and finished in 1945. Just simply click this answer. You have to remember this year, and that's fine. Now we will move to the next question. Welcher Krieg dauerte von 1939 1939 bis 1945? 1945. We know this was not the Erste Weltkrieg. It was not the First World War. It was the Second World War. Vietnam Krieg is a different one which is related to America in the upcoming years. It was not during this era, not even Gulf Krieg. That was the Second World War, starting from 1939 till 1945. Now we will move to the next question, which is was war am 8. Mai 1945. What happened on 8 May 1945? So we have already seen this year 1945 related to the end of Second World War. So they are saying that on this date toward death of Mr. H. No, this answer is not correct. Like this is not the date when he died. Begin this Berliner Mauer was Berliner. We know that Germany was divided into two parts, East and West Germany. So they are saying that they started to build a wall. Mauer is wall, bow to build. They started to build a wall, but this was started in 1960s. This question will come in the second or third video, but currently 1945 was not the year when this Berliner Wall was started to build. Wall von Konrad Adenauer zum Bundeskanzler. That Konrad Adenauer, this question will also come, and that he was the first chancellor of Germany. He was selected. This was not the year. Ende des Zweiten Weltkrieg in Europa. 1945 is the year when the Second World War was finished. So this answer is correct. Now we will move to the next question. Wie endete der Zweite Weltkrieg in Europa official? They are asking at how the Second World War was, where Second World War came to an end or was finished in Europe officially. What was the reason for that? Mit them told Mr. H died and the World War was finished. That is not correct. And durch die bedingungslose Kapitulation Deutschland. Bedingungslose mean unconditional. So, and capitulation mean to surrender. So just remember this thing, that Second World War in Europe came to an end when Germany surrendered unconditional in front of Allied forces. So this is the correct answer. Mit dem Rückzug der Deutschen aus den besetzten Gebieten, and Germans, like the areas which they have captured, they just retreat from those areas, or they withdraw those areas which they have captured. This is not the correct answer. Even durch eine Revolution in Deutschland, through a revolution in Germany, the Second World War came to an end. No, only bedingungslose Kapitulation, this unconditional surrender from Germany, was the reason that Second World War came to an end in Germany. So our next question is, was nannten die Menschen in Deutschland sehr lange die Stunde Null? Was nannten, you know this verb already, nennen, to know. So how, like, what is the Stunde Null? How the people in Germany for a very long time they used to remember the term the Stunde Null, the 0 hour, the 0 time. What was the meaning of that? Just remember this, after Second World War, almost everything like economic system or the infrastructure system was destroyed in Germany, and Germany was occupied by different Allied forces. So then this was Stunde Null, everything was 0. Then the process started again, the establishment, the making of a democratic system, industrial revolutions. Then these things came into existence. So the Stunde Null was when everything was 0 after Second World War. Damit wird die Zeit nach dem Wende im Jahr 1989 bezeichnet. Like they are saying Stunde Null means that when Berliner Wall was destroyed, Wenden was flipped, or was like destroyed by some people, there was a heavy turnaround. We will see this question in future, but that was not a time. The Stunde Null is not that year, 1989. Damit wurde der Beginne des Zweiten Weltkrieg bezeichnet. That with the Stunde Null they mean that Second World War was started. This answer is also not correct. Darunter verstand man das Ende des Zweiten Weltkriegs und den Beginn des Wiederaufbaus. This is the correct answer. The Stunde Null means Second World War was finished and there was a start. Beginne der Wiederaufbaus. Aufbau we have already seen, construction, wieder again. So there was a process of reconstruction. Germany was on, you can say, the Stunde Null. Everything was 0. They again started the reconstruction phase, and then industrial revolution, and then now we see everything today. So this is the correct answer. Damit ist die Stunde gemeint, in der die Uhr von der Sommerzeit auf die Winterzeit umgestellt wird. Like they are saying that we know the changing of time in summer, in April and October, the time set, the Zeitumstellung, the changing of time. This is also not the correct answer. The only correct answer is the end of Second World War and the Wiederaufbau, or reconstruction, reshaping of the new Germany. This is the correct answer. Now our next question is, der 27. Januar ist in Deutschland ein offizieller Gedenktag. Like 27 January is remembered in Germany as a Memorial Day. Like Gedenktag is Denken, Gedenktag, Memorial Day. Woran erinnert dieser Tag? Erinnern, you know this verb, to remember something. So what people exactly remember on that day, 27 January? What was that day? So, and thus Ende the Zweite Weltkrieg, we know this was a different date. We already covered, you know, like For the Second World War, the year was 1945 and the date was 8th of May. We have already seen that date. So this date is not that one. And the Abschiedung des Grundgesetzes, like they are saying that Grundgesetz, which is basic German law, we will cover those questions in part number 3. Like this law was rolled out or was passed, but no, this was a different year. We will see those questions in future as well, but that was not that date. And the Wiedervereinigung Deutschlands, like East or West Germany. Wiedervereinigung means united, unite again, East and West Germany, known as Tag der Deutsche Einheit, but it is a 3. October or 3rd October in Germany, not that day. And the offer just nationalist. So offer mean like maybe many of you, I will give an example like this. Offered is kind of a term which is used for the people who were persecuted, or you can say the victims of that era. You know, this era from 1933 till 1945. So that era, in that era there were some victims, some specific community or some people. So this date 27 Germany January is actually a Gedenktag. It's a memorial day for those people during that era. Opfer is a German word which is used for the victims, or even for like the year 1933 and 1945. This was the time that this date 27 Germany January is called Gedenktag, the memorial day. So just remember, like this was the day 27th of January, not the first, not the end of Second World War, or Grundgesetz was passed, or Tag der Deutsche Einheit, Germany was reunited. That is not the correct answer. So let's go to the next question. Welche Länder wurden nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg in Deutschland als alliierte Besetzung machte bezeichnet? So after a Second World War, like you know, maybe some allied forces, the major parts were from the Soviet Union, then Gross Britannia or UK, you can say, and America, USA, and Frankreich, France. They were the major part of this allied forces who fought against Germany and Japan bloc. So like and Germany was divided in like these. There were some areas. Besatzung Mächte mean occupied forces. And allied this allied forces, allied forces have captured some areas of Germany. That will also come in the upcoming questions. That 4 countries divided Germany, occupied different 4 parts of Germany. So who were these lands? Welche Länder? Soviet Union, yes. Gross Britannia, yes. Poland and Sweden was not a part of this. Frankreich was. Soviet Union was. Italy and Japan was a German ally. USA, Soviet Union, Spain and Portugal, no. USA, America, Soviet Union, Gross Britannia and Frankreich. These were 4 countries actually which have occupied 4 different parts of Germany. Besatzung Mächte mean you can say Mächte is forces or power. We've already seen Besatzung Mächte, occupied forces which have occupied some parts of Germany. Alliierte Besatzung Mächte. So these were 4 countries, which is the correct answer. We will also see these countries in the upcoming questions as well. So the next question is: Wie viele Besatzungszonen gab es in Deutschland nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg? We have already seen this question, that actually it was divided into 4 different Besatzungszonen or occupied areas. One was taken by Russia or Soviet Union at that time. One was taken by USA, America. Third one was by Gross Britannia. We called it Kingdom of England. And then the 4th one by France. So actually there were 4 Besatzungszonen. Now we move to the next question. Wie waren die Besatzungszonen Deutschland nach 1945 verteilt? Verteilt, you know this verb, to distribute. How they distributed Germany among them. 4 different countries, 4 allied forces, 4 different parts. How it was divided. Those who already know the geography, maybe they are aware of the fact that the eastern part was related to Soviet Union, this Poland, and other part was taken by Soviet Union forces, and then this part was part number 1 was taken by UK or Gross Britannia. Third, the part number 3 was from American forces, some areas of Hessen and Rhineland Falls, and then this fourth part was taken by France. But for those who want to remember this, like they want to answer it very quickly, I have made a logic for them actually. If you see this alphabetically ordered, G comes first, then comes S, then comes not F but U. So this answer is not correct. S comes and then G, this answer is not correct. First comes G, then comes S, then comes U or U. So this answer is correct. Just it's an exception. Frankreich is an exception. Just remember this order: G, S, U. First comes G, then comes S, then comes U. Just remember this order. Learn this order: G, S, U. Gross Britannia has taken the first part. Soviet Union has occupied the second part. USA was responsible for this third part, and the fourth part was being taken by Frankreich. So just remember this order: G, S, U, and in that F is an exception. So this answer is correct. So now we will move to the next question, which is welche deutsche Stadt wurde nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg in 4 Sektoren aufgeteilt? We know Germany was divided or split in 4 different parts, like which was occupied by 4 different countries or different allied forces, but there was a city as well which was divided in 4 areas. Aufteilen is to distribute, is to divide or split, it coming from the basic verb teilen. So aufteilen is aufgeteilt. It was splitted or divided. Which city? Actually, the other cities like München, Dresden, and Frankfurt, they were coming directly under a particular sector, in a particular area. But Berlin was a city which was coming on a common point for 4 different parts of Germany. Like 4 different occupied forces have captured 4 different parts of Germany, but Berlin was a central point which was a part of all of those 4 occupied areas. So that's why then this Berlin was itself divided into 4 different parts. So it is the only city which is now the capital of Germany as well. It was actually in 4 Sektoren. It was divided in 4 sectors itself. That city was Berlin. Just remember this city. Now we will move to the next question. Welches Land war keine alliierte Besatzung Macht in Deutschland? Like which country was not was among the occupational forces which have distributed Germany in 4 different parts? Which country was not one of them? We know USA was one of them, Soviet Union was, Frankreich, Japan. Japan was itself an ally of Germany and was not a part of allied forces of different groups. So Japan is the correct answer. Other 3 are not the correct answers. Now the next question is, when wurde die DDR gegründet? So now then Germany was basically, there was a Berliner Wall was made. It will come in the next questions. Now Germany was divided into major, you can say 2 different countries were formed. One was East Germany, known as DDR, Deutsche Demokratische Republik. This question will come as well. So it was under the part of Russia. Like DDR was governed or like was fully occupied by Soviet Union forces, Russia. So that, just remember this date, 1949. In 1949, Germany was divided into 2 official countries. One was East Germany, known as DDR or Deutsche Demokratische Republik, and the West Germany, known as BRD, Bundesrepublik of Deutschland. So 1949 was the year when these 2 different countries were found or came into existence, you can say, were created. So 1949 was that year. Just remember this year. It will be very helpful for you because it is the same year for the Bundesrepublik of Deutschland as well. Our next question is, was bedeutet the Abkürzung? Abkürzung means abbreviation. So what is the abbreviation of DDR? Just remember this, anyhow Demokratische would be there. So Dritte Deutsche Rundfunk, no. Die Deutsche Republik, no. Dritte Deutsche Republik, no. Deutsche Demokratische Republik. Just remember Demokratische Republik. So this is the correct answer. Deutsche Demokratische Republik. This is the correct answer. Just remember this Demokratische word and you will be fine enough. The next question is, in welcher Besatzungszone wurde die DDR gegründet? This I have already told you. DDR was under the supervision of Soviet Union, not America, not Francoist, not Britannia. It was Soviet Union. DDR, basically there were five German states which are now a part of Bundesrepublik of Deutschland since 1990. Five states were there. These questions will come in future. So these were in east part of Germany. We called it DDR or East Germany. So these were directly under the supervision of, or directly under the control of Soviet Union, DDR. And BRD was itself a Bundesrepublik of Deutschland, was original Germany, like governed by the German Chancellor. German democratic system was there, but DDR, this area was deprived of because of Russian occupation, because of Soviet Union occupation. Five states were there, and still the east part of Germany is under development, but west part, which is BRD, Bundesrepublik of Deutschland, which consists of this south part of Germany and northern Germany. So they are already well developed, industrially developed as well. So DDR basically was gegründet, or was where it was created in the area of Soviet Union, which was occupied by Russian armed forces. So this is the correct answer. Now the next question is, when were they the Bundesrepublik of Deutschland gegründet? I told you, you have to just remember this 1949 year. This was the year when Germany was divided into two major countries, two different countries, Bundesrepublik of Deutschland and BRD, and then Deutsche Demokratische Republik, DDR. DDR was under Russia, and BRD, you can say that like today's Germany, German Bundestag, German Chancellor, everything was German system. So this BRD was also came into existence since 1949. It was created, or it came into existence in 1989. Now our next question is, in welchem Zeitraum gab es die Deutsche Demokratische Republik DDR? We know this Demokratische Republik was created in 1949. So this answer is correct. From 1949 till 1990. This DDR existed, and then the Berliner Wall, we will see these questions. Berlin Wall was destroyed and Germany reunited. Tag der Deutsche Einheit, 3rd October is known as that. So like till 1990 there was complete separation, two different countries, West Germany and East Germany. So we have already seen this here. From 1949 till 1990 DDR was existed, and then afterwards we have the complete Deutschland, or Bundesrepublik of Deutschland, reunited Deutschland. This is the correct answer. Now our next question is, the Bundesrepublik Deutschland BRD had the Grenzen von heute Zeit. Now we have the borders of Germany, Grenze, you know, and that means border. So the borders we already have in Germany, they are from which time? They are from 1990. Just remember, in 1990 the Berliner Wall was finished and Germany was reunited as East or West Germany. They combined together, reunited, and Bundesrepublik of Deutschland was there. So starting from 1990, now the current borders of Germany are from 1990. Just remember this date, because before that there were two different countries, East Germany different borders, West Germany different borders and different neighbors. Now they are reunited. Now there is only one country, Bundesrepublik of Deutschland, or Deutschland. So they have the borders from the time of 1990. Now our next question is, the erste Bundeskanzler der Bundesrepublik of Deutschland war. You have to learn this by heart anyhow. Like when DDR was on the Russian side and Bundesrepublik of Deutschland, they have their own democratic system. They selected their own chancellor, their own parliament. So Konrad Adenauer, you have to remember this name. He was the first Bundeskanzler, or German chancellor. You have to learn this by heart. Then the next, or the last question of this slide is, vom Juni 1948 bis zum Mai 1949 wurden die Bürger und Bürgerinnen von West-Berlin durch eine Luftbrücke versorgt. Welcher Umstand war dafür verantwortlich? Starting from 1948 June till May of 1949, the citizens, male or females, of West Germany, like this part which was directly, you can say, Bundesrepublik of Deutschland, it was like supplies, food supplies, it was done through Luftbrücke. Luftbrücke means you can say it. Luft is air, and Brücke is bridge. So airlift, like they were supplied with airlift. What was the reason for that? Welche Umstand? Umstand means circumstance. What was the reason? War the fuel, verantwortlich. What was the reason for that? Who was responsible? Which circumstance or which political event was responsible for that? So we know that from DDR side, from the Deutsche Demokratische Republik, there was a road, or you can say like Landwege. This road area was there towards the West Germany, and DDR was directly under supervision of Soviet Union. So just a basic history. So the first option is for Frankreich war eine Versorgung to be in supply for France, and the supply to West Berlin. Bevölkerung is inhabitant or population. For the West Berlin, for France, the Flugzeug was kostengünstiger. That with aeroplane or with aerial lift, it was cheaper for France to supply the people of West Berlin. That's not the correct answer. You know, the aerial route is always expensive. It's not kostengünstiger. Die amerikanische Soldaten und Soldatinnen hatten beim Landtransport Angst vor Überfallen. Like they are saying that the reason was that American soldiers they had some fear that angst mean fear, like if they travel on the roads, then they will be attacked from some people, so they have that fear. This answer is also not correct. For Großbritannien war die Versorgung über die Luftbrücke schneller. And now the third occupied country is coming, that Großbritannien thought that this Versorgung or this supply through aerial supply, airlift is faster. No, the real reason is the Soviet Union, which was holding the DDR, Deutsche Demokratische Republik, unterbrach. Unterbrechen mean to interrupt, to disrupt den gesamten Verkehr auf dem Landwege. That the Soviet Union actually interrupted the road supply, the road connection between East and West Germany. So that was the only reason that people were supplied through Luftbrücke or airlift. So that was the only reason. Not that it was kostengünstiger or reasonable price for France, or for American soldiers had some fear, or Großbritannien, the United Kingdom, they thought that it's a faster way. No, Soviet Union actually, unterbrechen is the basic verb. Unterbrach, they interrupted the roadways or the connection, the transport system, the road transport system between these two parts, East Germany and West Germany. This is the correct answer. So this was the last question of this video. If you like our video, please subscribe to our channel, like this video as well, and forward it to your friends. So in the next video we will continue the same topic number 1. Till now we are done the events. We are done with the events starting from before the Second World War till 1949. Now the upcoming questions will be related to German, the reforms and how the system worked in Germany, how many states were the part of DDR, and how the system came into existence. So till that time, take care, bye.